Hello again, it's Julia here sharing my last card for today's stamp camp with you. This is my second standard card, which I've actually turned into a bit of a fun fold, a fancy fold. It's just a Z fold, but it's actually quite a basic card. Okay, this card doesn't use any of the designer series paper. It's focusing more on the beautiful dies and also includes the exposed brick embossing folder. If you can have a look, there's a little bit of texture there. Okay, so here's my card base, and it's just fold in half and fold in half again. What did I do with my, here it is, I just give that a bit of a burnish, fold in half again, just to give you that fun flap detail on the card. Okay, now before I will stick my Mossy Meadow panels in. So I've got one for the front and one for the inside, and they're almost, they should be exactly the same size as my, so to ensure that, so this folds like that, so you end up with the whole thing. To ensure that I only have adhesive on that part, okay, I'm going to flip it over like that, line it up exactly where it's going to go, and then I can see the edge where I place my adhesive right along that edge there. Okay, so that's lined up exactly with where I want that to go on my card, and just line that up right on the corners there, and there you go. I've got no glue on that bit here. Okay, and then I'll do this one as well for inside. This is just repeating the same detail as the front. Okay, line that up right on the edges there. There we go, and there's my card opening like that. Okay, I have embossed already my front panel with my exposed bit, and the inside of my card I've just embossed just the bottom edge of the exposed brick folder, and I want to stamp them to give them a little bit of textural interest with the lovely splodges in the stamp set. I absolutely love splodges. So I've actually mounted both of the splodges on the same block. There we go. There's some splodgeration on the inside and some splodging on the front here. I'm going to focus a fair bit up the top there. I like to create some sort of diagonal line, and the images on the card will support that. I've got a lot more splodges on this one than I have on my original one. And fun getting carried away with my splodging there. Okay, I'll just give my surface a bit of a wipe so I don't put ink anywhere. Okay, so on the inside of my card, here's my inside one. It's almost finished, so I will pop my ribbon around that, just on the edge to camouflage the edge of where I've embossed. There, I'll put some adhesive just on the back of my card. So tuck that in and tuck that in. Now I'll cut my ribbon. As much as possible, I like to keep my ribbon on my spool as long as I can to make sure that I have enough for what I'm using my ribbon for. Okay, now I can pop that on the inside of my card, and that's finished. Okay. And then for the front of my, hang on. And that. Have I got them all off? I think so. So just pop this from the top right across my front there. Okay, I've also got, and see I've done it so that I can show off that lovely splodgeration. I've also cut and put some glue already on my die cut pieces here and there. So they're working as a framework for my greeting. I have these flowers already done. And then these ones I'm going to stick on with mini glue dots as another way of sticking these little flowers on. That one's got a mini glue dot on, and that one. There we go. And then I can just use my take a pick tool and stick these on the branch wherever I like. And that's a great way to use your little flowers. And this one's still stuck in here, so I might just poke him through, stick him on that way. There we go. So that was much quicker and easier for me. Now I better start my greeting, hadn't I? This is a really fun way to make a cute little flag end greeting. Really easy. My two pieces of cardstock are exactly the same size. And I'll stamp a good friend as a gift. Here we go. Clean that off. Get you out of there. You don't belong in there. Rude. Okay. And then this one here, I'm going to cut in half. Doesn't really matter how well I cut it in half. Put them together, fold them over, and flag the ends. Okay. And then these ones, if I pop a dimensional at each side of these, okay, and pop that just down a bit. Have I got the back off that? Yes, I have. Just down a bit and across a bit. It looks like a folded banner. Isn't that a cool idea? Now, before I stick that on, I will want on here, on the middle section, those will be like that, and then this one will be with glue to keep them all at the same level. But before I stick that on, just going to pop a bit of seal right there to put my ribbon, which I'm going to fold in thirds. 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. Fold it in thirds, stick it under, and it looks like a bow. And then stick my... Oh, you come in here. Come in here, darling. Stick. Whoops. Hang on. We're getting there, we're getting there. I've twisted it over. Might need another bit of seal just for the top bit. Or a mini glue dot. Works just as well too. And then I can stick that over the top. I've got a good friend is a gift. And the last part of my card, for this one, I've used all 3 colours of my sparkle dots. So this time I'm using the Mossy Meadow sparkle dots for the insides of my flowers. Oh, good grief. So line them all up. I'm having a jolly old time getting these off today. Push you over. They're so smooth. I wonder if I'm doing a better job picking them off. Not really. Just got to bend my acetate. There we go. That makes it easy. And then that gives me a little bit of room to tuck underneath. One there, one there, 2 more to go. and I'm done. There we go. So that's a fairly simple card, just focusing on the dies. There we go. Pop that all out of the way. And my mess. And those are those 2 cards. So because this is my last project for today, I'll share my other cards as well. So there you go. Those ones, and those ones. I hope you've enjoyed those projects for today for our stamp camp. Up next in 2 minutes is Jan with her other standard card. And thanks so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.